Right here for you on Penn's Peak Radio. It's where rock and country collide, but right about now we're doing nothing but country because it's wall-to-wall country for you each and every Wednesday. And if you're joining us, it's kind of a sloppy Wednesday out there, but no matter what's going on outside, we also got a great, bright, and interesting show for you each and every Wednesday. Now, don't forget, if you're hanging out with us or you just joined us, the entire show will re-air on Sunday morning starting at 8 a.m. And we're very excited to have on board a lovely lady who is going to be our featured guest for today. We try to have one each and every week, and we are going to be chatting with a lovely lady named Shari Rowe. Shari, how are you?
I'm doing great, Casey. Thanks for having me on. How are you doing today?
I'm very excited, and I'm doing quite well. Hopefully you are having a little bit better weather than we are up here in the Pocono Mountains of Pennsylvania.
Well, it sounds like fall is fully upon you guys. We're just seeing just the very, very beginnings of fall out here in Arizona. It's finally out of triple digits, and it's a little overcast.
Wow. Yeah, no, we're definitely in the total and complete grips. As a matter of fact, if we would have had another day like this, I'm not so sure how many leaves would be left on the trees.
Oh, man, wow.
It's pretty blustery, windy, cold, rainy out there. Yeah, it's a fall day here in Northeast PA.
Wow. Sounds beautiful, actually.
It's really nice. It's just today's kind of sloppy. Tomorrow will be better.
Yeah.
So, Shari, you mentioned that you're in Arizona. You're hailing from a much warmer state than we are at the moment. But I always like to give my people a little bit of background information about the artist. So why don't you go ahead and give us a little bit, kind of from the beginning a little bit, and tell us how you got into country music and becoming a big Nashville recording artist star.
Okay, sure, yeah. Well, growing up in Arizona, our lives always had to do with the outdoors. A lot of people picture Arizona as just a desert, but we have beautiful mountain ranges just about an hour or two north of us, and I grew up camping and fishing and hiking all over this beautiful state, and my dad really loved classic country music, so we'd drive on the outskirts of town. I remember being very little, and the windows down, and just hearing, Waylon and Johnny Cash and just some of the old standards. So I grew up with country music, grew up in a very country lifestyle out in the West here. And I always wanted to sing. I can remember being very little and putting on living room concerts with my sister. And, we all have, I think most of us have some of those old movies. But I always wanted to do it. I just always kind of knew. And I was in choir in school and grew up and actually started singing in church when I was, I would say probably around 18 years old, started singing in church with my sister and my sister-in-law, and really just kind of did it spontaneously. We didn't have a big plan with that, but that actually began my start professionally. It wasn't long after that we started singing more and more together and got a record deal with Q Atlantic Records. It was a record label owned by the QVC Shopping Network.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and so we toured and played contemporary Christian music for a while. Did a lot of family life radio, Women of Virtue events, and appeared on QVC. That was it was a really great time, and it was kind of one of those things where we didn't have this big plan. It just sort of unfolded, and we just felt so blessed and so fortunate to find ourselves in that spot. And we did that for a few years, and then we all kind of sort of went our separate ways professionally. Still really close, are a very close family. And country music was a natural progression for me, just having grown up the way I did. And I feel like country music really was the backdrop for every family get-together, every camping event. It was a very natural progression. So I started writing, started putting some stuff out there, went out to Nashville for a while. We spent a summer out in Nashville, my husband and I, and really just started sending out an independent project that we did in 2012 to everybody and anybody. And then came home back to Arizona here. And it was really about 6 months, I think. It wasn't right away, but we got a call from Lamont Records that they were interested in doing a project and signing a deal. And that's the project that you have now. The songs that you have are from that, and it was released just this last spring.
Awesome. Nice. So, you kind of you were steady and working at it and doing what you needed to do, but you keep your hometown roots. You still sing, with the family, and you still sing at church and still go camping and still hang out horseback riding and doing all those wonderful things that you can do in Arizona?
Exactly. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Our lives are so full here. We go back and forth to Nashville quite a bit. There are things that I love about that I love about Nashville. Rather, I love the music culture. The fact that you really you can find live music everywhere. There's just a strong community of musicians, and everyone's really out there to help each other. It's not as cutthroat as maybe some people might think. There's a really nice, loving, caring community out there. But Arizona, I mean, I'm an Arizona gal. I love, like you said, being with my family. I still lead worship at my church when I'm in town and I'm available.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd like to be able to stay here. Ideally, maybe someday we'll be able to have a place, have a house in both places. So we'll see.
Nice, nice. Now, you've actually had a little bit of recognition by performing with some not so not known names. I mean, you want to talk about some big guns in the industry. Big and Rich is up there, as well as a few others. You want to tell us about some of those experiences? How you got on stage with them?
Yeah, absolutely. We have played the big Country Thunder event out here in Arizona. They have it in Wisconsin and Arizona. We played that 2 years in a row. And we played right after Maddie and Tay, and right before Big and Rich on the same day at Country Thunder. And I've had a few other opportunities to open for people like Aaron Tippin, Tracy Lawrence. We had a unique opportunity out here in Arizona to open for Ben Taylor, who is James Taylor's son.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean that's always exciting and fulfilling for me to meet people who have been either doing it for a long time or just starting to break out in their careers. I opened for Katie Cole at the Hard Rock Cafe. She's a country artist from Australia, and she's really starting to make a name for herself based out of Nashville now. And it's just, when someone is doing what you really want to do, I mean, there's just this respect there. And so, yeah, I mean, that's always an exciting thing.
Who would you consider, I mean, you're mentioning a lot of music that you used to listen to as a child, but who were the outstanding, in your mind, the outstanding ones that were really the drive of the inspiration to create your sound or kind of go in the direction you're going in? I mean, country music is such a vast term anymore.
It is.
But everybody kind of has their own little niche. Who would you say is that one inspirational person that you aspire to kind of like maybe echo their sound a little bit?
Right. It's hard. It's very difficult to narrow it down to one because I think there are a few aspects that stand out from a few artists in particular.
Okay.
I've always related to Little Big Town, just the content. They seem, Boondocks.
Right.
Boondocks just stole my heart away because I just love the heart of that song. I love the harmony, and having grown up singing with my sister and my sister-in-law, I'm always drawn to the harmony. So I feel like they've influenced me in that way. They've been an inspiration. Miranda Lambert, I just love how real and raw her country music is, and especially maybe even a little bit of her older music.
Mm-hmm.
I just relate to that raw emotion, and even some of her production just seems to be a little more raw than some of the newer stuff. And honestly, it's going way back, but Johnny Cash, just because of who he was, I tend to be really drawn to people who have maybe not this perfect past, but they're taking their life and they're coming around and they're taking advantage of opportunities to change and to make a difference in the world. And you can still see they're a little rough around the edges, but I love the way Johnny Cash was able to have the platform that he had and stand for something and really still be true to himself. I feel like that's the heart of country music. So hope that answers your question. It's not.
No, that yeah.
It's a little tough to answer.
No, I mean it does. It really does. It starts painting a picture, of the kind of music you like to do and the kind of sound that you might be going for or what
Right.
you're aspiring and that's exactly kind of some it's nice to hear because everybody has like their own little thing and their own little certain artist that they like to keep in their pocket, and
Sure.
when they're writing or they're performing, those are the kind of people that you're like, okay, I want to do this and take a little bit of this person, and that's how I want to create my style.
Yeah, absolutely.
And your music and then, that's that's how you grow, and that's how you get to do what you're doing. Now, you were talking a little earlier about some of the music that you're releasing or have released earlier, and one of the songs is Moonshine is one of your singles. Now, did you write all the songs? You know, that's always the big question. Are you writing them? Are there songs that just spoke to you at some point?
Yes,
How did they come about?
I did. I wrote or co-wrote the 4 songs on the new EP, and Moonshine in particular was fun because I had written about a third of it, and I drew the inspiration from camping. We have a favorite camping spot up in the White Mountains in Arizona, and for me, I mean, you could send me anywhere in the world. I mean, we've toured, in Poland and Germany, and you could send me anywhere, and those places are great, but I don't feel quite the same as I do as when I'm just up in those mountains. Mm-hmm. And my husband and I share that together. So I just thought, I could get a buzz from some moonshine in a mason jar, but I'd rather just be under this moon shining on us now, out here in our favorite spot. So I had about a third of the song finished, and then I was able to co-write with a couple guys from Nashville, Aaron Rice and Luke Bushis, and they're both very talented and accredited songwriters out in Nashville. And it was kind of cool because we wrote over FaceTime, over Skype.
Oh, nice! And
I had never done that before. I wasn't sure, what that was going to be like, because songwriting is a very just kind of the environment means a lot. And but it went really well. We actually finished the song in about an hour, and and so then there's Moonshine. It was done.
Nice. Now, you said there's 4 songs on it: Moonshine, Open Road, let me try that again. I'm a DJ for a living. Family Gathering, and Won't Forget About Me. So you co-wrote all 4, or wrote any of them independently?
I didn't write any of them independently. I either started them and then brought in a friend or a co-writer to help me kind of sew it up. Okay. Now, Won't Forget Me was written by a good friend of mine, Nick Orso, here in town in Arizona. But the others, I'm sorry. Wait, I take that back. Open Road was written by Nick Orso independently. Won't Forget Me, we wrote together. Nick Orso also came in on Family Gathering and kind of helped me sew that up. Okay. And then, like I said, with Moonshine, it was with Luke and Aaron. So
nice. And people can find this if they can either go to your website and find the links off of that, and it's easy. It's Shari Rowe. Now, I want to spell this so people, they probably will be able to find you, but just so they know, it's SHARI and then ROWE.com. You can find her website that way. She's also on Facebook and Twitter. The social medias, are you a big social media person?
I am, just so I can reach fans. In my everyday life, I don't know that, I can't really imagine what that would be like, because there's such a purpose behind it for me in connecting with fans. So I don't know what it would be like if I weren't so involved with music, but it's a great way to connect with fans, that's for sure. Okay.
So, one of the ways you can get your hands, Amazon, iTunes, all the electronic ways, there are hard copies for this, Shari?
There are, as a matter of fact. If someone wants to contact us through the website, I can definitely send out a CD in the mail for sure.
No, you could send me one.
Okay. You got it, Casey.
I'd love for you to send me one, Shari, and you could go right ahead and sign that for me too, if you'd like.
Not a problem at all. I'll get right on it.
That would be great. Yeah, and that's another way that, I like to share all the CDs that I get from my artists sometimes, and I have people who are like, oh, who is that? I've never had that before, and it's a nice way to help spread the word. Sure. But we'd be glad to feature your music right here. Right now, I only have 2 of your songs, just so you know. So having the CD would give me all 4.
True.
Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. But speaking of Moonshine, I think we'd like to feature that one, and a little bit of background of the song and things like that, and that's nice to know the background of the music. Especially if the artist, like the artist I'm talking to either wrote it or co-wrote it, because it helps understand the song when you hear it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Gives that whole nother depth of a song or a tune that you're trying to get out there. But listen, we're going to take a real quick break, and we're going to be back with Shari Rowe and her song Moonshine. Well, it's definitely got a really sassy little beat there, Miss Thing.
Yes, ma'am.
I like it. It's like,
You like it? That's
yeah.
awesome. Thank you.
That's a head bobber tune. You know, you could just drive down the road and you're bobbing your head. Right.
Yeah. Hey, that's what you want. That's what you want. That song that everybody can kind of just groove to. So that's what we were going for in production for sure. So that's good to hear.
You succeeded big time, big time. Double thumbs up on that. Because if that's, I'm sitting here. I'm literally just sitting here. My head's going back and forth, and I'm like, you know, and it's
nice. Very good.
That's awesome, and it is. It's a great track. I think it's going to be popular. And now, have you played that out already quite a bit at concerts?
We have, yeah. It goes over real well. I've got a great band. I'm really blessed in that way. I've got guys that have been with me for a while, and they got those harmonies rocking on those hook lines, and it gets a really good response, and it feels good to be able to, because honestly that's my favorite part, being able to play a show and sing those songs live.
Yeah, I mean, I was just envisioning like the crowd, and maybe it's a night concert, and all the lighters are up in the air, or their phones, you know, and they're like swaying back and forth and bobbing their head. You know, I mean, I could clearly see it. I mean, it definitely painted a picture there for you under a bright moon.
Yes, that would be the perfect night for sure. And the guys love it. They kind of take off at the end and just jam for a while on that. So it's fun to do live.
Yeah, I have no doubt. You know, and I made a mistake before, and I want to correct myself. Now, this is actually your second, like an EP or disc that you have out there. You did another one back in 2012 that had a bunch of songs on it.
I did. It was an independent release. This 4-song EP that came out in the spring is with Lamont Records out of Nashville. The one in 2012 had 11 tracks, or has 11 tracks, I should say, and it really helped us, honestly, to get the record deal with Lamont, and we really gained some traction and built a fan base with those songs. I had one of the songs on that project picked up by Molly's Fund Fighting Lupus, which is a nonprofit organization out of Portland. They did a fundraising EP with 4 songs. One of the songs on the project was done by Michelle Williams from Destiny's Child, and then there are 2 other artists and myself. And that was a real blessing, because the song's called Invincible, and the whole project was about empowering women and men who were fighting that autoimmune disease.
Mm-hmm. Is that one that really tugs on your heart, Shari, or is there a specific, you know, a little bit more closer to home kind of fundraising type event that you like to do on a regular basis that helps people?
You know, it's always hard to narrow it down to one, because there are so many events where you know, live music is kind of the foundation for where they build a lot of fundraisers, and so we have a lot of opportunities to give back and serve in the community in that way. Relay for Life, fighting cancer. I mean, here at Peoria Sports Complex in Arizona, it was one of the biggest relays in the nation, and we were able to do that 3 years in a row. And my father actually battled lung cancer, and he passed away in 2005, and my mother and I were his caregivers, and so that's really, really close to home. I mean, it's such a big undertaking fighting cancer, but I just feel like, you know, having gone through that, I know what those people are going through on a day-to-day basis. I know the ins and outs of what that was like. So that's pretty close to home, but Molly's Fund is as well. I have many family members who fight thyroid disease and chronic fatigue and those other kind of autoimmune issues. And those can be kind of silent illnesses where on the outside, you know, everyone looks like they're doing great and they're healthy, but there are so many symptoms that people aren't aware of. Mm-hmm. So to shed a light on that cause and that fight was definitely a blessing for me to be part of.
Mm-hmm. One of the other, and it's kind of interesting because I'm thinking about, you know, what you're doing is you're trying to gather people together, and you're trying to make a point and get people to be able to support other people who are having issues. And I just happened to notice one of the other songs on this EP that you have is Family Gathering. Anything that kind of goes with that, or is this a different type of theme? I like that one because I have that one. I'd like to share that one too.
That song is very special to me. It's not necessarily connected to a charity, but it's very close to my heart because I come from a big family, as I said, and gosh, family is such a unique thing. It's we're so close, and we all know each other so well, and we see the best in each other and sometimes the worst in each other, and it's kind of a tongue-in-cheek song at times, and then it takes on a little bit of a serious note. But I feel like I wanted to write the song in a way that everyone could find their own family in certain elements of the song, and sort of remind all of us to not take any moment for granted, that even, there are times that are hard, and even with the holidays coming, I know there are a lot of people out there who kind of dread those holiday gatherings for whatever reason or another, old, past hurts and wounds and that kind of thing. But family is a precious gift, so I really kind of wanted to convey that in this song.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, I think people are ready to hear it, and I'm going to do a quick bottom of the hour ID. And we're going to come back with that one. Can you still hang in for a few more minutes? Or
Yeah, absolutely. I'm having a good time.
Great. Awesome. Well, that's what I like to hear. So, listen, we're going to take a quick ID break here. We've got another tune off of Shari Rowe's 4-song EP. Again, this was released. You guys can find it. You can find it on Amazon, iTunes. That was the same thing put together there. Amazon and iTunes. I kind of put those two words together. Several other different ways. And most importantly, you can find it on her website. You want to find out more information, you want to go to ShariRowe.com. That's ShariRowe.com. And all the information's on there. But Shari's going to hang on for just a few more minutes. We're going to feature another one of her tunes called Family Gathering. Give it a listen. And it's kind of interesting because Thanksgiving it's right around the corner. Christmas follows that up pretty quickly. So, depending on how you feel about, the whole idea of, the family gatherings or the holidays. And I do know some people actually dread the holidays for like you said, for personal reasons. Most people go, oh, the holidays, they're great. Everybody's happy and da-da-da-da-da. But sometimes that is the hardest time of the year for some people.
It is. That's for sure.
It's kind of tough on some people. So, hey, we're going to give it a listen. We're going to be back with more Shari Rowe right after this, right here on Penn Speak Radio. Don't go anywhere. Pretty little tune from Mrs. Shari Rowe called Family Gathering, and you can get your hands on that song by going to her website at ShariRowe.com or check her out on Amazon and iTunes. Got some great music going on there. Well, I got to tell you, it's good music, Shari. I think you're on your way, man. I love it. I loved all of it. And
thanks a lot. Thank you, Casey.
I think the best part about an artist, some artists tend to sound the same on every song that they do. And I think they fall into that trap where I can honestly say the two songs that we heard are completely different. And you know what I mean?
Right.
Like they each have their own. I mean, Moonshine and Family Gathering are two completely different songs, and it's nice because it opens up the door for people to recognize that you can do that.
Oh, that's cool. Well, I mean, there are so many. I'm trying to convey different emotions, and I think it's good. I think sometimes as artists in the industry, you find a quote-unquote formula that worked last time, and sometimes it can be tempting to kind of try to recreate that same thing all the time.
Right.
And I can understand that in just some aspects, but overall, it is nice to be able to convey a different emotion, a different feel.
Yeah, and I think you're doing that. I think you've done that so far. If I can get one more of these tunes to play for me, either Open Road or Won't Forget Me. I also like to close out the show with a song from my artist because this whole show re-airs again on Sunday morning, and sometimes people catch it late on a Wednesday. And it's my way to remind everybody about your website and who you are and to get their hands on your music. And if they want to hear it again, they can catch it Sunday morning. If I can get one of these to play at the end of my show, which one do you think would be a good one to close out my show today and then again on Sunday?
Yeah, I think it'd be fun to close out with Won't Forget Me.
Okay.
That one was fun to write with my friend. It's there's some humor in there. I think it'd be a good end to our little segment here.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll be playing that at the end of the show, which is a couple hours from now. Just to remind everybody a little bit about Shari Rowe, and if they missed the interview, they can catch it on Sunday mornings. The whole entire thing starts at 8. Shari will be on the show in the second hour, which will be 9 a.m. Eastern Time. So, Shari, if you want to spread the word on your Facebook, the people can catch this interview if they missed it.
I will do that.
But, hey, listen, you've got a lot of fun things going on your website. People can find out about where you are and what you're doing via your website. Also, I guess, on your Facebook and your Twitter page, if if you have that kind of stuff going on.
Yep, everything's updated on all the social networks. Home base is ShariRowe.com, but we definitely update everything else because we want to see our fans out there. So we stay on top of that.
And like you mentioned before, it's your way to stay in touch with the friends and communicate, or with the fans and communicate with them and stuff like that. So you guys want to be friends of Shari, you want to track her down on Twitter and Facebook and all those great social media avenues, and just say, hey, we heard about you on Penn Speak Radio. You can order your music through her website and things along that line. So that would be awesome. Shari, is there anything you'd like to add? Is there anything new and upcoming that, is kind of like a wink, wink, nudge, nudge that you can give us a little maybe inside info on of what people can look for?
Looks like, because you've been so gracious to play more than just the single that's out there right now, which is Moonshine. You've been gracious to play others. It looks like Family Gathering is probably going to be the next single. Okay. We're still, making decisions on that. And then in the spring, we're going back to Poland for another tour, across the pond over there, overseas. Okay. So that's going to be a big event. I'm really looking forward to. I'm signed with Core PR now, and Patricia.
Oh, okay.
And Don over there have been great. I want to give them a shout out. They've helped us so much because we can work real hard, but if no one knows what we're doing, it defeats our whole purpose. So. They've been great, and they've got a lot of things lined up for us in the spring out in Nashville. A country radio seminar, and looking forward to CMA next year and playing at Country Thunder. Just got a lot of really big events coming up, more high visibility stuff. I can reach more people and see all those beautiful faces out at our shows.
That's awesome. Yeah, and I give a good kudos to Core too. I mean, they're one of my contacts. They're always saying, "Hey, we got this person. We'd like to get them on your show." And with you doing some stuff in other places, that's kind of cool that you have the opportunity to go to Poland. Real quick, how did that come about?
Well, we have a good friend who, I'm going to give you the nutshell version because this is a very interesting story and long, but we have a good friend who went overseas on vacation, and his wife was originally, her ancestry was from Poland. So while they were over in Europe, they went in to get a family crest. And long story short, found out that she is the long-lost heir to the throne.
Oh, wow.
Now they are the Count and Countess of Poland. So we have known him for a while. He's always organized trips where bands kind of go overseas and do mini tours, and he's always been interested in that. So now we kind of come as guests of the Count and do tours. So, we went to a couple royal balls. We played at the famous Blue Note Club in Poznan in Poland. We'll go back there again. Played the major festivals over there and building a country fan base over there. They love country music in Poland.
Yes, they do. I have several artists from Sweden, from Poland, and a couple of others from over there that are on my show on a regular basis. They'll call. And I just had another group from London, I think, call me just a couple weeks ago.
Wow.
So, actually, I have 5 or 6 artists that call me from in that area. And
very cool.
Yeah, Hixton, Sweden calls me quite a bit. I've got the DSP band. I think they're from Poland.
Nice.
Yeah. Ireland, I had an artist who was in the Ireland area who called, and he was neat talking to because he had that Irish accent going on.
How fun.
It was interesting. So, they definitely love their country music over there, which is awesome. And spreading the word is always a good thing. Well, we wish you well on all your endeavors, Shari. If you ever manage to get up to Pennsylvania, know that the Penn Speak Radio doors to the studio are always open to all my guests. Just to have Patty or anyone at Core give us a heads up, and we'll get you scheduled to come into the studio and do a little something live for us.
Thank you so much, Casey. You've been great. You're really sweet. Thanks for having me on. It's been great chatting with you.
Well, I'm glad we can help you out. Get your music out there a little bit. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Don't forget my CD. And we'll play some of your music for you. We're going to close out the show with a little something off the same CD that we've been talking about, the Moonshine one. Won't Forget Me at the end of the show. And remember, spread the word a little bit. If they missed any of it, they can catch it all Sunday morning. But best of luck with everything to you, Shari. You're a sweetheart of a girl. And maybe someday if you come up to PA, we'd love to meet up with you and hang out. And you'd be more than welcome to always come back on the show if you got something new going on. Just give Cora a nudge and say, hey, I want to get back on to Penn Peak Radio. We always welcome our guests back.
I would love that. Be careful out in that blustery weather.
Yeah, it's kind of sketchy out there right now. I'm gonna finish my show and put my tail between the legs and try to get home in one piece.
Yep.
All right, my dear, you take care, and hope to hear from you soon. And good luck with everything.
Awesome. Have a great week. Thanks.
Bye, my dear.